Romeo and Juliet, Shakespeare's own little classic. Act 2. Let's get started. So in Act 2, there is a lot of things that has happened. Scene 1 to Scene 6, one more scene more than Act 1. There's a lot more that could happen. It starts with Romeo near the Capulet's orchard. And if you remember, or at least heard of, the famous scene of Juliet's balcony and Romeo down the balcony, and Juliet's like, oh Romeo, wherefore art so Romeo? I'll tell you what that means later. That's in Scene 2. That happens in Scene 2. But if you heard of that, Scene 1 would be no different. It's basically a mini prologue of Scene 2, telling us what Romeo is doing and what he's planning to do. And also hearing Mercutio and his other friends little teasing. It's Mercutio and Benvolio. So Romeo retires in this part of the play, which means that he just goes backstage. And then when he goes back on stage, there's a lot of things that actually happen because, he wants to meet Juliet, but he can't let his old Montague friends know. Since even he can't even let his Montague father know, because then his father would basically disown him, I'm pretty sure. They tease him and try to get him out, but then they give up, so they go home and hoping Romeo is there. Then in Scene 2, in the Capulet's orchard, Juliet comes out of her balcony, onto her balcony, more like it, and then just says those famous words I just said. And so I felt a bit awkward saying them, as it was a girl who was a girl character. But back then, males had to play women anyway, so they probably felt awkward too. They talk to each other down the balcony, and then they hear a lot of things. They talk to each other and confessing their loves for each other, which may have been the cause of this whole entire disaster. If they didn't love each other, what would happen? I mean, my school did a drama version of this that made sure that Romeo did not love Juliet, but Juliet loved Romeo and still wants him, and they used phones instead of daggers, and that's pretty awkward. It's like a modern Romeo and Juliet. Minus the swords, replacing them with cell phones, and minus the Romeo love, replacing them with Juliet love, trying to find them, and minus William Shakespeare, replacing them with Alison Shakespeare. I'm not sure where they got that name anyway. What he said. It's weird. After that, they exit each other. They come out. I'm pretty sure that the balcony prop is gone, and the closes and then opens again. In Scene 3, the Friar Lawrence's cell. The friar is looking and talking about these little herbs that could be useful, but in the wrong hands will be bad and does a lot of bad things. Then Romeo enters and tells Friar Lawrence about everything. He confesses his love to Juliet, and then confesses his wanting to marry her as his bride alongside him, and they may have to run away anyway. The Friar Lawrence is basically very shocked at this for two things. First thing, he's shocked because Romeo's heart was with Rosaline, and he thought always with Rosaline. Even Romeo said that himself, I'm pretty sure, in a variation. But then, after having a little rejection and trying to reach out for Rosaline, he meets Juliet, but not face to face until Scene 2 of Act 2. But until then, there's not much to do. I mean, Rosaline he loved, and instantly loving Juliet is something. But then he's also, I'm pretty sure this is not the unshocking part, is that he has some hope and might be a bit relaxed, thinking of this marriage request that he got from Romeo, and this marriage could end the feuding families forever, whatever they were feuding about. I'm pretty sure the play doesn't even say it at all, what they were feuding about. It just says that they're feuding over something, but not what they're feuding over. That's one thing I'm pretty sure I criticized about Romeo and Juliet, but other than that, there's a lot of great things here. And Scene 4, Mercutio and Benvolio are still looking for Romeo and tired of teasing him, so when they find Romeo, when Romeo meets them and finds them, they find him a bit more good-natured and happy. And about Rosaline, they're not even sure what happened to him and Rosaline, his heart and Rosaline. More things happen. The nurse comes, and Juliet, with the nurse, comes to talk with each other. And this nurse is, as much as I could think of, talks to Juliet and has a lot of things to do. The nurse talks to Juliet about a lot of things, saying that there will be a marriage plan, and telling Juliet about the marriage with Romeo plan, and the plan is executed in Act 6. In Act 6, in Scene 6, there's no Act 6 here, there are only 5 acts. In Scene 6, the marriage takes place, where Romeo and Juliet confess each other's loves together during the wedding, and Friar Lawrence weds them in a peaceful, obviously no guests, especially family-related guests, as that will get them both killed or disowned, and out of their parents' wills, of course. Also, they are their only children of their fathers and mothers. And that's all I'm saying. Romeo and Juliet, by now, Act 2 is finished. Now, let's go for a little bit of a careful analysis. Remember the scene. Remember the line, "Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?" It might not mean what you think. You might think that it means, "Romeo, where are you, Romeo?" But that's not what it really means. There's a little bit of a little poetic theme here. Like, it has to be in twos. Like, Romeo has to be in 2 syllables for this to work. At least if you try to say it in the Old English version. I'm not even sure I can do it, because I don't even know the Old English pronunciations unless I watch a video with the whole play in Old English, which is probably impossible today's modern English style. But it actually means, "Romeo, why are you Romeo?" Meaning, why are you a Montague? And why are you Romeo? Because this name distorts this perfect stanza. This stanza has a little poetic rhyme and theme and syllable, like, I don't know, like a haiku, but more of a line than these 3 lines. That if Romeo was just 2 syllables, then it could just fix the whole thing. Watch more poem videos with John Green and Crash Course Literature for that. Even the impatience of Juliet with the plans from her nurse, and her nurse saying that Romeo is so beautiful and stuff, that she knows that I'm impatient, and forces her to tell Juliet the plans before she goes on babbling about Romeo's looks and appearances and charms. Young impatience, unlike the old slowness, and basically a lot of things that happen. Romeo and Juliet are all a great play. Act 2 is especially a great one, in my opinion, too. And that is all I have to say about this episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed something new about this episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Schnan out. Peace. Wink.